It's okay. You're live. Without a shame.
Toda. Thank you so much, Chief Rabbi Pinchas.
You're
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to Rabbi Hananiah, Ben Israel, Rabbi Mbogo, and there are others also there that I cannot see. This Rabbi Hananiah, Ben Israel. Thank you so much, everyone, including those people that I'm not able to see. Okay, we are live. So the parasha of the week is Parashat Vayeshev. So I just want to explain to you the reason why we are doing this. Obviously, we are learning so much through the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, the Limudim that we are doing through the Eliezer program and the rabbinical course. Everything is coming together. But the reason why we are starting the parashot, the Torah portions of the week, is to give us a map, a holistic map, in order for us to be able to find ourselves in the grand design of the Or Ein Sof. To be able to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have to acquaint ourselves with the text of the Torah in the original tongue. So what we are going to do now, we started last week on Wednesday on Parashat Vayishlach. And we saw so many things in Parashat Vayishlach. We had trouble with the connection, and B'ezrat Hashem, I hope that this limud will be so meaningful. So this is Parashat Vayeshev. So welcome everyone. So Parashat Vayeshev can be found in the book of Bereshit, chapter 37. And what we are going to do, we are going to try to read the text in Ivrit, in Hebrew, and then we're trying to explain and see whatever comes up, because of course this is going to be based on Peshat and Eremes. So I'm going to give a lot of just basic explanations and remezim, some hints to the text. So Parashat Vayeshev begins like this: Vayeshev Yaakov be'eret megurei aviv be'eret Canaan. So the text is telling us that Yaakov is settled in the land of his father's sojournings in the land called Eretz Canaan. So number one, first of all, we need to ask ourselves, what exactly does it mean by Vayeshev? So if you want to translate that, it could say to sit. So obviously, the word yeshiva, to sit, is actually alluded there and we will see how these texts keep coming back. I don't know whether we are going to get there, but there are a few things that we will see in the text. So first of all, this text is telling us something. The Ramban Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, who lived in Gerona in Spain, an amazing Mekubal, he writes there that the reason why this text is telling us is also to say that Vayeshev Yaakov, it means that Yaakov is settled. So it also means that all the Alufei of Edom, all the chiefs, the chieftains of Edom, have also settled in their land. So this is a very important key. So he's telling us that there are two settlements there. Vayeshev Yaakov and also Esav also settled in Eretz Seir. He has gone somewhere, he packed his belonging, and he had to leave to go and go on to another land, which is not Eretz Canaan. And obviously, in this text also, we are also looking at the Eretz Canaan. So the question is, usually when the Torah will tell us, for example, in the case of Avraham Avinu, the Torah says that you should not call Avraham, your name will be called Abraham. You will not be called Avram, okay? So, but here, Eretz Canaan, we think that the Canaanim were very bad people, and in fact, the Torah says they had gone off the track. But the meaning of the word Canaan is to humble. So Eretz Canaan is a land of humbling. It's a land with midat adin. It's a land with a judgment. So if you live in Eretz Canaan, then you have to be humble, meaning you have to get a hold of the mitzvot. If you don't do the mitzvot, there is actually some sort of a judgment looming over your head. So this is what the text is telling us. But the text here is going to tell us so much. So we keep going. So it's saying here again, the Ele in verse 2, the Ele toldot Yaakov Yosef, Ben Sheva, Esre, Shana, היה רואה את אחיו בצאן, והוא נער את בני בלהה, ואת בני זלפה, נשי אביו, ויבא יוסף את דיבתם רעה אל אביהם. So this text, it's a very, very deep, this is a very, very foundational text. Why? Because Yaakov and Yosef are connected, they got a chibur. They have got a kesher. There is a very specific thing that the Torah is telling us here. What is the Torah telling us? Ele toldot. The word Ele is a very specific word because we find this word for the first time in Sefer Bereshit. Ele toldot hashamayim va'aretz. These are the products, the progeny of the heavens and the earth. So we know usually we cannot interpret this word to mean offspring as in the case of the products of a person in terms of physicality. Of course, that can be the word meaning, the meaning of the word, but the word Ele is a very, very powerful word. So, and you find also in the book of Devarim, when Moshe Rabbeinu started the book, it says Ele Devarim, Asher Diber Moshe. So this word is very specific. So one of the reasons why these limudim are so necessary is to help ourselves to be able to acquaint ourselves to the mindset of the Chazal, the sages, and our own rabbis that are teaching us now with the tradition that they receive from the pure source. So this is very important. Now, one of the things we need to understand that the Chazal, the sages tell us that the face of Yosef HaTzadik was exactly like the face of his father Yaakov. So it's a text is telling us also that when Yosef was coming with his brothers, you know, they call him an Na'ar. So there is a text in the Birkat Hamazon that we say Na'ar Hayiti v'gam zakanti, that I became young and I become old. Now that text in the Birkat Hamazon, if you know, there is what we call the blessing after you have eaten bread. There is a specific text. I don't have it here at hand, but whoever does recite the Birkat Hamazon will understand what I'm trying to say. So it says, Na'ar Haiti v'gam zakanti. I was young, now I'm old. And there's another text that says that there's somewhere in the tradition that says that better a poor child than a foolish and old king. So this to contrast these two texts. So it's telling us that Na'ar is a poor child. Now, those who are doing the rabbinical course understand what poverty is, not what we think. They understand that, you know, when it talks about Na'ar, it is talking about the Yetzer HaTov. And the old and foolish king, in the language of the sages, is really the Yetzer Hara that actually is born. From the time a person is born, he is always accompanying the person. The Yetzer HaTov begins to enter the person from the age of 13. From the person, the boy, 10, 13, that's the time that the Tzelem Elokim begin to enter, as we have learned, of course, through the rabbinical course. So this is a very deep thing, but I'm just giving it to you in allusions. So here the text is telling us Yosef, in the case of the way the brothers looked at him, the brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, he was just an Na'ar. He was just like someone who was actually despised. So it also says here in the text that Yosef was actually bringing Dibatam Ra'ah. He was bringing the words, the evil, it was bringing some evil report. And when you see a commentary on this particular verse, we will be told that they were eating Evel Menachai. They were eating a limb that was torn from an animal that is still alive. Now, of course, you need to ask yourself, how could they possibly do this? If Avraham Avinu kept the entire Torah, all the Chukim, the Mishpatim, and the Edud, and Avraham Avinu had tefillin, and all of these things. How is it possible that the sons of the tzaddik, the sons of the most righteous, the holiest person, the Tiferet, would be eating a limb that is torn from an animal that's still alive? How is that possible? So we know that when things are taken at face value, they can cause a lot of harm. And an example that I can give you is the example we know that from the time the Torah was translated and, Christianity was born, a religion called Natsrut, and Islam was born. And we see these two religions would actually take the text, they would interpret it in the way they want, and so many people are going to be killed, they are going to be murdered as a result of misinterpretation of the text. And that's the reason why we're supposed to read the text only in the original languages. Of course, I'm speaking to you now in English, but really, we should be looking at the original text and understand them according to the tradition that has been given to us by the Chazal and all the sages. So this is very important. So now it's the next verse. Vayisrael ahav et Yosef mikol banav kiven zekunim hu lo v'asa lo ketonet pasim. Now, notice something very powerful here. And I hope everybody can see the text. Can everyone see the text? Thank you so much. Toda Rabba, Rabbi Bogo. So the Israel have, notice something you need when you are studying the Torah. Just understand, we need to understand, this is the Or and Sof. This is the light of Akadosh Baruch Hu that is squeezed into a text, because when the Torah came to us, we see it as letters, but it exists in Ruchaniyot, in the spiritual part, it is very, very high. So when it comes to us, we see it as words, as stories, as accounts. It looks like human beings are talking, events are taking place here, but there's so much more higher things happening. From the basic foundation, it's going up to the top higher world. So if you notice here, you will see at the very beginning, if you go to the beginning, where it says, Vayeshev Yaakov. So we are told Yaakov settled. And we are told Yaakov is Yaakov Yosef. But here, the text is actually changed. It says, Vayisrael. Israel loved Yosef. Mikol Banav. What is that? Why is Moshe Rabbeinu, writing it like this? So there is something here we know in the Ruchaniyot, Israel is higher. There's Yeshurun, which is Yeshurun is someone that is breastfeeding and it became fat and is kicking. Moshe Rabbeinu in a song called Parashat Azinu that we read, Parashat Azinu, it talks about this concept. And also Yaakov is also a name that our father had, Yaakov had, and then it was changed. We saw last time how he struggled with the Malach of Esav, which is the Malach of Esav, the Samech Mem. So his name would be changed, later on would be confirmed, and it will be called Israel, which means Li Rosh. To me, is a head. So as the head is higher in a human being, it controls the rest of the body, including the leg. So here, you have really, you move from a world of Yaakov to the world of Israel. So you need to notice, because there's so many things, and you see it so many places in Bereshit chapter 48, when Yaakov Avinu is, when Yosef heard that his father was ill, he had to bring his sons, Ephraim and Menashe, and he is actually coming so that he can visit his father, so that his father can also bless them. So Israel actually set up and he asked Yosef. It's actually, first of all, it was Yaakov, but then it says Israel set up and he said, Mi ele, who are these? So obviously that the text is telling us something in Ruchaniyot, because there is no time. So I'm just mentioning this to give some elucidation, some explanation about how we should look at the text. The other thing that we need to note here is Yosef is called Ben Zekunim. Is the son of his old age. Now, the word Zaken is an elder, but it's not just in physicality. When the sages say don't read Zaken, read Ze Kone Chochma. This one has acquired wisdom. So it means that Yosef had a very specific function because in the language of the deeper hymns, that Yosef represents the foundation, Tzaddik Yesod Olam, that the Tzaddik is the foundation of the world. So Yosef HaTzaddik is Ish Matzliach, he is actually the foundation of the world, like Even Shitiyah. So everything that is flowing into this world has to pass through this funnel called Yosef. So in other words, nothing will come, no Geulah, nothing will come without Yosef. So among all the troubles that are going to come upon Yaakov Avinu, one of the worst of them all, that is the most difficult of them all, will be Makarat Yosef, the sale of Yosef. And when we talk about Eretz Megure Aviv, we are actually speaking about Magor. It's like it's a trouble, it's distress, it's a lot of troubles, because Yeshev Yaakov, Me'eretz Megure Aviv, Eretz Magor, it's Eretz of, there's a lot of trouble coming up on Yaakov Avinu. So you see, for example, when Yaakov Avinu is running away from Esau, he goes to Lavan. Lavan will mistreat him, and then he will be cheated. Lavan will switch the girls. He will give him Leah instead of Rachel that he loved, and all of these things will happen. And then when he's cheated, of course, he's cheating. He's also cheating Yaakov Avinu. He will change his wages 100 times over. Yaakov will succeed. He will bear his children there in Haran, which means the place of the Nachash, a place there was a lot of snakes in a way. And that concept also is embedded in Parashat Vayeshev. Maybe we'll get there. But when he is about to leave Haran, he's coming back, and Lavan will be running after Yaakov. And he will catch up with him in a place called Har Gilad. So you will see that also this concept of Gilad is also mentioned in this text. So Yaakov comes back to the Holy Land. He is confronted by Esau, who is coming with 400 men. It will make Yaakov to be very frightened. So Yaakov is going to be very frightened by all of this, because Esau is coming 400 men. These 400 men, it makes him feel so afraid. Why? So I'm just trying to build a foundation here. B'ezrat Hashem, you will be able to understand the map, what is going on here in the Torah. So you can go and do your own limudim, but you will notice that the number 400 is also mentioned in Parashat Chayei Sarah, when Avraham Avinu is negotiating with Ephron Achiti. So Avraham Avinu has gone to the Akedah, and Sarah Imenu had passed on. So Avraham Avinu is looking for Achuzai, looking for a cave, a burial site for Sarah Imenu. And he will talk to a man called Ephron, and he will buy the field called Ma'arat HaMachpelah, which is Hebron. And Hebron is also mentioned here. So it's mentioned here. So all of these things are going to come up very often. So don't forget about the previous parashot. Everything is linked. So now, but the question here, Vayeshev Yaakov me'eretz Megure Aviv be'eretz Canaan, it seems now to be like a bit of, because if you are settled, as opposed to Esau that is actually gone to a different place, why then would you have trouble? So all of these things, and then there is also after Yaakov Avinu wrestled in the Malach, and he was promised to be his name to be changed, he come to in front of the city of Shechem, and that Dinah is actually raped by Shechem ben Hamor, and Levi and Shimon will go and slaughter the city, the males, on the third day of the Brit Milah, on the third day of the circumcision. So this is really telling you something. So Shechem also appeared in the last parasha, Parashat Vayishlach. And so all of these things we should not forget. So when we are learning, everything in the Torah is a chibur, is connected. So let's keep going. So now the sale of Yosef is what is the focus here in this parasha, Parashat Vayeshev. So we are in verse 4. Vayireu echav ki oto, ahev avihem, mikol echav vayisneu oto, velo yochlu debaro leshalom. So his brothers saw that his father Israel. It's very interesting. Israel loved him more than all of his brothers. What happened is a sinah. So there's a hatred that was directed towards Yosef Atzadik. And it says in the text, they were not able to relate to his words. And the word shalom is missing a letter, is missing the letter vav, meaning that there was something in the spirituality of the 10 sons of Yaakov. Binyamin was at home. So the 10 of them, which is a minyan, quorum of 10, because when you are doing tefillah, you have to have 10 people. So they are actually in the field there. And they could not really understand the world of Yosef Atzadik. Obviously, this is a very high level of a soul. So Yosef was very unique. This uniqueness is going to isolate him. So this is very interesting because they are not able to understand the words of Yosef. Now, the Torah tells us, via Chalom, Yosef Chalom, via Ged Lechav, via Yosifu Ot Sino Oto. Now, you have to understand, beside the fact that Yosef somehow he has a dream, and he actually told them all a whole Agadah. Now, when the Torah is saying via Ged, we are not taking as just telling, but it's a whole sipur, it's a whole story. So this Agadah of the dreams of Yosef, it's another level of Torah that was beyond the brothers. They did not really understand. And what will happen would be they will really, it says in Oto. So here, this word really, an Ot is a letter. So they would really they would really be having a lot of issues with him. Okay, Vayomer Alehem. So Yosef is explaining to them, Vayomer Alehem, Shema'una achalom hazeh, Eshel chalamti. So he says, please listen to this dream that I dreamt. So he's going to explain, Ve'hine anachnu mel'almim alumim betoch hasadeh, ve'hine kama alumati, ve'gam nitzava, ve'hine tesubena alumatoichem, vatishchavena alumati. So it says here, behold, we were binding sheaves. They were in the field. They were in the middle of the field, and his sheaf just stood up. Not only did he stand up, notice the language. Not only did his sheaf stand up, the gam nitzava. Now this word mateva is a pillar. It's like you have an account where we have a parasha, for example, Parashat Nitzavim. So we read it before Rosh Hashanah. So in the Parashat Nitzavim, Nitzav means, and there's also a text in Tehillim, Devarek Nitzav Shamayim, that your word is actually standing erect in the heavens. So this is a very specific word that it's denoting the level, not only did his sheaf stand up, his bundle stood up, but it actually was a mateva. It was something very, very, very important. So, and the sheaves of the others went around Joseph's sheaf, and they were actually bowing down to him. So, and Chet, Vayomeru lo Echav, Amaloch timloch alenu, Yimashal timshol banu, Vayisefu ot, Sino oto al chalomotav ve'al devarav. So they stole him. They understood that there was something about this dream which they did not quite understand. Of course, if they had understood it well, there would have been no reaction, a negative reaction. They didn't understand. So they told him, are you really going to rule upon us? Are you going to subjugate us? And they actually said, well, Yosifu od, Sino. So they actually added so much hatred. And it became, there was much because of his words. Now he dreamt again, Yosef dreamt again a second time. We are in verse 9. ויחלום עוד חלום אחר, ויספר אותו לאחיו, ויאמר הנה חלמתי, חלום עוד, והנה השמש והירח, ו11 כוכבים משתחווים לי. So it says here, he actually dreamt another dream. Now notice something very interesting here. So it says here, חלום אחר. Now, there's something very interesting that I noticed in the text. When you go back to the birth of the Shevatim, you will notice something very interesting. When Yosef is born, it's called Ben Acher. And it was the birth of Yosef that prompted Yaakov to leave Haran. So it's called Ben Acher, which is interesting. It actually goes back, the Chalom is going back on Yosef. And then also in the other dream, it mentioned a Chalom Hazeh. So it's very interesting because the word Hazeh is a He and a Zayin and a He, which actually give you a number of 17. So Yosef was also sold when he was 17 years old. I mean, these are a few ideas, and you can also look at the text and see where you are led to. So there is so much that is hinting at Yosef in every angle. So it's very interesting. So this Chalom here, he saw that the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars were bowing down to him. So now you can just imagine what is going to happen with his brothers. His brothers are going to be so incensed, they are going to be so annoyed, and they will not really be able to even look at him. There was a level of separation between Yosef and the brothers. And the question is why? So you might actually think that is something physical, but of course, everything that's happening here was all according to the will of Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So it says here, ויספר אל אביו ואל אחיו ויגר בו אביו ויאמר לו מה החלום הזה אשר חלמת? בוא נבוא אני ואימך ואחיך להשתחוות לך ארצה. So this is like a question. So he went, not only this Sipur, he went to actually publish this to his father. He told it to his father, of course, Yaakov, who is also Israel, the Elechav, and he actually told it again like a third time, because he had told the first dream, he has told the second dream, he was hated for it, but Yosef is still telling them, why do you put yourself in a situation like this? Obviously, we are dealing with a very righteous person, a very holy soul, with an immense mission that has to bring shalom to everyone. We saw the word shalom there before, that his brothers could not speak to him with shalom. And the word shalom is missing a vowel, meaning that it's not a word shalom, it's complete shalom. Now, obviously, if we go back to, for those of you in rabbinical limudim, we understand from what we have been taught that so I can see someone is raising their hand. Let me just, okay. Yes, Rabbi Hananiah ben Israel. Please go ahead.
Toda Rabbi Ethan. Can you explain the significance of the shalom without the waw again, please?
Can you say that again, Rabbeinu?
Can you please explain the significance of the shalom without the vav, please?
Okay. So basically, so very good. It's a very nice question. Toda Rabba, Rabbeinu, Hananiah ben Israel. Very important question. You see, whenever we are reading the text of the Torah, so many allusions come to us through remez, a hint. They come to us in otiot. The letters are really, they are light points. We know this, that whenever you read something in the Torah, you have got things called ta'amei mikra. There are things that are called, there are signs on top of the words. Sometimes you've got dots, like for example, you have got a patach, you have got a chirit, you have got a segol, you got a moving sheva, you got all these signs. You see things in the text. Nachon? So when you see these things, when you know a word is spelled in a certain way, but then the Torah decides to say, no, this time I'm going to remove the vav from the word shalom. Sometimes the vav is broken, as in the case of the brit shalom of Pinchas. You know, when Pinchas killed Cosbi and Zimri, you know, you remember the incident when the Bnei Israel, you remember the incident, Rabbeinu? Yes. So in that incident, you find in the Torah, because things not in the text we are reading here is for a public doing. But when you are talking about a Sefer Torah, it's something very holy. It's written on the skin of an animal, and it's kept in Aron HaKodesh. It is something very unique. Therefore, some of the things that are actually I'm reading here are written in a way that we can actually read. Now, so when a vav is removed, now Rabbeinu, you know that the vav is actually man. This is called, this is really in the world of the Yetzirah. Okay, so we are referring to the world of Yetzirah. So when you're talking about a vav, you know, the name of Kadosh Baruch Hu has 4 letters. So you got 5 olamot. So you got olam Adam Kadmon, you got olam Atzilut, you got olam Bria, you got olam Yetzirah, and olam Asiyah. So all of this, and of course, I don't want to, as I say before, I'm giving allusions to a lot of things in Remezin because not everyone, of course, on the forum understand some of these things. So we have to make the limud a bit lighter. But I hope that will tell you something, that the vav, taking out the vav from the word shalom, is really telling you something. That yes shalom, but yes shalom. There's a shalom and there's a shalom. Meaning that there is a shalom that is actually coming from Yaakov Avinu and Yosef Atzadik, because the two are a chibur, they have a kesher, they are connected. That shalom that is coming from Yaakov Avinu and Yosef is a true shalom. But the shalom that the brothers have here has some burden in it. There was a struggle. So this is what I can say, but of course there's much more to it. So we go back now. So his brothers really are really very, very not the things are not going so well. This Yosef and Yaakov are together. Binyamin is at home, but the 10 brothers here are not having a very good time with Yosef. It looks like a dysfunctional family, you know. So when you read it, it's like, what sort of family is this? But of course, this was meant to happen. Makarat Yosef, the sale of Yosef, was something that Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to happen. ויקנאו בו אחיו, ואביו שמר את הדבר. Please just give me a minute. I just need to let someone in. I need to send a link. So just give me a few minutes. תודה רבה. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully the person will be able to join. I have to send a link to someone so that they can join. It's very important that we put an effort, to put an effort to learn the Torah every day, every minute, every spare moment. So what we are doing here is something very, very meaningful, because the rest of the world is at the moment in a lot of chaos. This is the last leg of the Geulah. So when you see the face of people that look like me, obviously, and all of you that are listening there, obviously, something very huge is happening in the world. So we have to take the time to do the limudim, to study the Torah, Torah Kadosha, the Torah of life. So excuse me, everyone. I have to put on the computer on charge. So just give me a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So basically, I was saying that we are living in a very, very radical time. Obviously, there's a lesson here in this Torah portion, Vayeshev Yaakov. So if Yaakov has settled down in his land, that means that Esav also settled in another place. So you have to choose now. Do you want to settle Yaakov like Yaakov, who is Yish Tam Yoshev Halim? Yaakov is a smooth man that dwell in tents. Or you want to sit with Esav? Obviously, Esav is a man of the field. Yaakov is a man of Torah. So there's a big importance here to do this limudim. Okay, so so verse 12. וילכו אחיו לראות את צאן אביהם בשכם. So it says that his brothers went, and they went to meaning his brothers, they went now after all this drama of the dreams and everything, the hatred, they went to go and pasture the flock of their father, Avihem, Bishechem. Now, what is interesting, you see two dots on top of the Aleph and the Tav. These two dots here mean something. Now, sometimes you see, like in the first verse of the Torah, when the Torah reads, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You find the word Aleph Tav Shamayim and Aleph Tav Haaretz. This is a specific meaning. According to Chazal, this is the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah accompanied them to go to this place. They went to Shechem. So they went to go to Shechem. Later on, you will see there will be a change in the Torah. Something is going to happen. So let's keep going. Time is not on our side, but whichever the case, what we can do, we need to do what we need to do. So make an effort to attend this shiurim every week. So verse 13. Vayomer Israel el Yosef, Halo achecha ro'im b'Shechem, lecha ve'eshlachcha aleihem. Vayomer lo hineni. So it says, Israel says, Vayomer Israel says, notice again, this is not Yaakov. Remember, we started the shiur by saying, Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz migrei aviv ve'eretz Canaan. This is the first verse of the Torah. Yaakov is settling in a land called Megrei Aviv, where Yitzchak dwelled, the Eretz Canaan. Now here it's saying Vayomer Israel. So Israel is talking. So obviously something is happening here. Why sometimes you have the name of Yaakov and the name of Israel. So Yaakov is actually sending forth Yosef, a tzaddik. Okay, so it's to say go to Shechem, which is mentioned here. Go to Shechem and see your brothers. Hello, achecha roim. It's a question really in Hebrew. It's not really a statement. Hello, achecha roim. Are your brothers not shepherds? Meaning they were shepherds. But there's something not so quite right about the shepherding here. So Israel will send forth Yosef to go to the field, to go and to join to go to his brothers. So, and he's saying, behold, I am here. In other words, Vayomer lo, lech na re'eh et shalom achecha ve'et shalom atzon ve'ashivenu davar vayishlacheu me'emek Hebron vayavo Shechema. Now, he is sent forth from what we call Emek Hebron. Now, Emek Hebron is a valley. It's translated in English, and I would say very badly. The Emek Hebron, there's no Emek, there's no valley in Hebron. So what exactly does it mean? So it would mean something else. Because the word Hebron here is coming from Lashon Chibur, or Chaver, a friend. So a friend is someone you are connected with. It's a kesher, it's a connection. And emek is a depth of something, the deeper part of a person. So this is talking about Yosef Asadik. A tzaddik is coming from the Ruchaniyot, being within Israel. So he's coming from that mikor, he's coming from that source. So that's why he sent forth from this Chibur to come to Shechem. So we will try to limit ourselves now to English. Okay, I will just go through the text now in English, trying to explain. So basically, Yaakov Avinu, Yosef a tzaddik, he comes to this place, to Shechem, and ish. So a man found him wondering, he was somehow lost in this field of Shechem. And the man would ask him, Aish would ask him, Ma tevakesh, what do you seek? And he would say, Ani vakesh et achai, I am seeking my brothers. So this man is understood to be Gabriel, because according to Sefer Daniel, Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, the Malach Gabriel is called Ish. So because that's what Daniel says. Obviously, there's no time now for us to go there, but this is Gabriel. Gabriel actually told him so he's asked the Gabriel, and he says, Eifo hem roim, where are the shepherds? So, and the Malach Gabriel will tell him, Nasa'u mizeh, they have removed themselves from Shechem. In other words, they have gone, Shamati, Omrim nelcha dotaina, vayelech Yosef achar echad, vayimtzaem bedotan. So Yosef is told, look, I heard that they relocated to another place called Dotaina. They have gone to Dotan. Rashi, alav shalom, will say that this word, if I can remember very well, Dotan means a place on conspiracy. They have gone to conspire. They were meant to be in Shechem, but they relocated to a different place with everything. So this word here, Nasa'u, means to go with everything. It's a journey where you pack everything and you go to a different place with a sheep and everything. And obviously it's telling us something, that the real shepherding is not when you actually separate yourself and take your sheep somewhere else. So of course, this is a problem. Yosef Atzadik knew that that kind of a shalom is not what is needed. So he is coming in and is going after his brothers, and they will see him from Merachok, from very far, Veterem Ikrav, even before he comes closer, to them. Vayitnakeleu oto lehamito. This word, Vayitnakeleu oto, it means they really conspired. They designed some evil report to harm him immediately. So because they went to a place where they were going to really cause a lot of issues. Vayomeru ish el achiv. So one person said to his brother. So these people, there's explanation in the text. I believe this was Shimon and Levi that actually said, look, this master of dreams has come, and because he's actually called Baal Halamot, the master of dreams. So Yosef and a name, it became called a master of dreams. It's like they're despising him, but in reality, this is who he is. He's really living. His mind is in the ruchaniyot, in the spirituality. Now let's go and kill him, and we will send him we'll send him into one of the pits. There were a number of pits there, and they say, then we will say that a bad animal has consumed him. And you will see what will happen later on. Reuven, of course, will try to save him. Now, it's very interesting. Reuven, there's a story that is mentioned about Reuven. And the story is that Reuven lay down with Bilhah, the concubine of his father Yaakov. But really, that account, it didn't do it. But what he did after the passing of Leah, he was really wanted his mother to be honored. So he rearranged the beds. And because Shechinah is there, it was like a seed. He had some intimacy with Bilhah. So Reuven understood what Teshuvah means. So he basically was trying to help Yosef, a tzaddik, and he said, Lo nakenu nafesh. So this is very interesting because it doesn't Lo nakenu yish. It's a nafesh. Why in nafesh? So this is probably alluding to something very, very high. Because you didn't understand. Remember what I said before, that the Torah is coming from a very high source. Our souls are coming from a very high place, but they are found in these bodies. So when they come to this world, they will be found, the soul will be embedded in the blood. So the Torah is telling us, don't eat blood, because the dam of a person is actually the life. So the word nafesh or nefesh is the first level of the soul. So you have got the soul has 5 levels. You have got the nefesh, you have got the ruach, you have got the neshama, you have got the chaya and the yechida. So there are 5 levels of the soul that correspond to 5 worlds: Olam, Adam, Kadamon, Olam, Atzilut, Olam, Bria, Olam, Yetziran, Olam, Asiyah. So this Olamot corresponds also to the 5 levels of the soul. So we can see here that Yosef Atzadik, being a soul, is coming to this world, and the actual thing is nefesh. They are singing nefesh. They don't recognize what his soul is made up of. So, which seem to me to indicate the reason why there's a struggle. So this seems to indicate why they don't understand his plan. So now, Vayomer Alehem, and he said to them, Reuven said to them, you have to just throw him, tishpechu, lo tishpechu, al tishpechu, dam, don't pour blood. Hashlechu oto el abor hazeh. You have to throw him into one of these pits. Now the Torah says before that the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. So why would you tell us that the pit was empty and there was no water in it? So if it is empty, why mention water? This is a very big lesson to us, by the way, because number one, there is not really makom rek. There's no empty place in the world. So you will see people will either follow kedusha or they pursue impurity. It's one of the two. There's nothing in between. Either you are for the spirituality, or you are. So everyone is spiritual. But which side are you taking? You're taking the side of Yosef Atzadik and Yaakov Avinu Israel, or are you taking the other side of Esav? So there is that. There's in the way people look at the Ashkafa, the worldview is based on the Ruchaniyot, the Levushim, the garments of the soul. So when a person comes to you, you look at them and they don't say anything, they don't act, you will not understand what is happening in the machshava, in the thought, the level of this thought. But when they speak, like the way I'm speaking to you now, you will be able to understand the person. You will know which world this person is in. Are they embedded in materiality, or are they embedded in Ruchaniyot? And the same thing like when a person is acting. If they are going to put on the tefillin and they have a siddur, they are praying, then you know they are doing an action. And that's something you see here, something very interesting. See here we are talking about nefesh and dam, because nefesh is basically the level of the soul. Dam is basically, what you can see. And then nefesh is inside the dam. So this level is telling us, and we have got two levels here. There's what we call nefesh yesodi, and there's nefesh asechili. The nefesh yesodi is really the place where you have to do the mitzvot. That's we have to have you have to tepa. You have to really learn how to train yourself to transform the midora, or the evil character traits to become good. So because otherwise, if you just want to grab the Torah, but then you are not changing anything, then that means you're really doing nothing. So it doesn't work like that. So when we actually refine ourselves, then it is easier for us to be able to function at the level of the soul. So what is happening in this text, basically, just to summarize, I don't want to prolong it, but just to summarize the text, obviously, if time is up, but what we are saying, what we see here is Yosef Atzadik is going to be soul. First of all, it's actually thrown in, it's thrown into, just give me a second. I just need to send a message to someone. Okay, can everyone hear me? Thank you so much. So I hope this is meaningful. So I just want to wind up. Of course, there are people that I want to join, so I'm trying to do the best I can. So to admit them, because these shurim are very important, Bezrat Hashem. So we are talking about here about Makarat Yosef, the sale of Yosef. Why this is so significant? It's because Yosef Atzadik is a very, very important person. And we see, as Chief Rabbi Pinchas is saying, that Yosef really is us. The gate of Geulah are coming because Yosef has to really be the one that will prepare the way for Mashiach ben David. So it's very important, because all of these things are very, very important. So what I will do here, if you have any question, please, you can ask. But the main point of the Limudim is to really navigate and ask questions. And the more we refine and understand the text, the better it gets. And Bezrat Hashem, we see more and more. So I don't want to prolong it. I just want to, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Yes, Rabbeinu Hananyahu ben Israel, please go ahead.
Toda Rabbi for this limud. As you're speaking about the importance of Yosef and him being the precursor and the one who will bring forth and give rise to Mashiach ben David.
Shalom, shalom.
I can't help but to think about, it made me think about how the juxtaposition between this story and then the story of Yehuda or Judah with as they go back and forth in Bereshit, speaking of him overcoming desires and running from sexual temptation. At the same time, Judah is, having an encounter with his daughter-in-law, who he sees as a prostitute. And I always was trying to understand why it jumped back and forth. It seemed like the Torah was going back and forth between two stories that did not have a particular association. But as you just said this, and as I'm learning more about the influence and the importance of Yosef, it is showing the juxtaposition as how Yosef is always the one who will lead Yehuda in how to be righteous and how to be holy. So Toda Rabbah for this is giving me a lot better understanding of the basic principles of Torah. Toda.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Hananiah ben Israel. You have really brought into the picture something that I did not reach in my limud, but very, very important. That account of Yehuda going down to this place where he will meet Bathshua was coming up. We didn't reach there because I know the limudim are the Torah portion. It's not possible for us to capture every single thing. It's impossible. Now, what you have just mentioned, that story is actually very much connected to the sale of Yosef. How? I'll give you a proof. So when Yehuda went and married Bathshua, and he also got a wife for his son. So he had 3 sons. There is there is Onan, and there is Shelah. So he had 3 sons through the Bathshua. So Bathshua was a Canaanite, a lady, I believe so. I think that's what the Torah says. Got a wife for Er. Er's wife, Er was actually throwing down the seed on the ground. So he actually died. And then Yehuda told Onan to do Yibum. Now, Yibum is one of the laws that, and you see, this is very common in the African continent. I was born there, so I can give you what I know. I know from the tribe where I was born in South Sudan, Yibum is something that is embedded in the tradition of the people. So you will see when a brother passes away and they doesn't have a child, they will always bring the brother of the dead brother to have children, to bear children for the dead. So you understand here, they understood Tichiyat HaMeitim. So they have a hidden Torah. So it's concept of Yibum. But what is quite interesting to prove the sale of Yosef is connected here is that when Yehuda was traveling to go and shear his sheep, Tamar would ambush him and would pretend to be like an harlot, like a bad woman, and later on she will become pregnant. But she asked for 3 things: the chotem, the patil, and also the mateh, the staff, the signet ring, and also the patil. I don't know how we can translate that. But what happened is, after 3 months has passed, of course, the pregnancy was revealed. And the people reported that Tamar is pregnant. She's become a zonah, become a bad woman. And Yehuda says, oh, bring her, we were going to burn her. And she sent a message and she says, Akerna. Very interesting word, Akerna. Those are the same words that Yehuda uses when they dip the coat of Yosef in the blood of the goat to change the color. But it still remained the coat of Yosef, and Yosef himself, Yaakov Avinu still recognized the coat of Yosef, even though the brothers were trying to change the appearance of Yosef, because when his coat was put in the blood, of course it changes the appearance. And it was Yehuda who told his father Yaakov, Hakerna, please identify. And now Tamar is telling Yehuda, please identify, Hakerna, I am pregnant with a man that has got these 3 items. So you can actually see everything is going to happen, even the birth of Zerach and Peretz, which are the line of Mashiach, especially Peretz, is going to become it's goal connected to yourself. So you can see, you cannot escape yourself. Without yourself is really the final, all the life come from Shamayim flow into yourself. Yourself is called Yesod. It's called Tzaddik and Yesod Olam. So thank you so much for bringing up that. It really wraps it up and it brings us back again to the Torah portion. Obviously, if you did not raise this question, I would have not actually gone there. So this is very important. There's so many things we haven't touched, but this is a very significant parasha. So when talk about Yaakov Yosef, it's very, very important that Yaakov and Yosef look very much alike. Any other question? Thank you so much, Rabbeinu Hananiah ben Israel. And if there's no any other question, I don't really want to go beyond my time allocated. Please make an effort to attend this shiurim. I don't know how many people are there on YouTube, but we want to make sure that we do this limudim. Obviously, I hope this has been meaningful to you. I hope that you are enlightened in a way. So please let people listen to them. They are very, very meaningful. We are in the last leg of the redemption, and that's why you see our presence online is very meaningful. It's not possible to just sit at home and not help other people. It's a war over the souls, guys. You know. So Toda Rabba, Rabbi Hananiah ben Israel, Toda Rabba, Rabbi Mbogo wa Muriuki from the Republic of Kenya, Toda Rabba, Rabbanit Mariam from Eretz Kodesh, from Eretz Israel. Thank you so much for joining me, and those of you who are on YouTube, you know, thank you so much for being with me. I hope you've been blessed, and B'ezrat Hashem, we will be able to speak again next Wednesday. Shiurim are on Wednesdays and Sunday. So it's Parashat Shavuot. Toda Rabba. Thank you so much, Letraud. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Shavuot tov. Boker tov.
Shavuot tov u'bracha. Toda Rabba. Bye. Shalom, shalom.
Shavuot tov.
Shavuot tov. Shalom, shalom. Thank you.